me share my screen. And then we're in business. There we go. Excellent. Right.
Buenos días, señor.
We're on our way. Huh? Antonio. Buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. So yeah, gracias. Gracias. Just got my books, but bookcase stretch across for them, so that's not a problem. So, hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos a la lección 16 de la clase de Español Plus. ¿Qué he estado pasando esta semana? What have I been up to this week? No mucho. Fui al supermercado, pasé al perro. It's about as exciting as it gets. Pero reparé el techo de mi casa de verano. I don't know what the Spanish is for summer house, but casa de verano is as good as I could get. Además, hay mucho fútbol en la televisión. And don't forget, no olviden, no hay una lección la semana que viene. Volveremos el 23 de febrero a las 1:30. So no lesson next week. At Suzanne's request, she decided we needed a holiday. And after 5 seconds thought, I thought my brain could do with the rest too. Yeah. So it's Valentine's Day on Sunday. Hope you've all remembered that. Yeah. Hope you've all got a nice present, bunch of flowers, box of chocolates, nice bottle of wine for your loved one.
I'm getting a lovely present. My wife's going away for the weekend.
Carl, you're outrageous. You need reconstruction therapy or something like that.
Is that essential travel?
Yes, she's going to support bubble for her my mother-in-law.
That's all right then. That's okay.
But it happens to be her mother's birthday on Valentine's Day as well, which by coincidence.
Well, you can have Valentine's Day a day earlier, of course. You don't have to.
No, you can't. I think I read it in the law. There's a law passed against it.
You meanie.
I know. Yeah, extra work for you today, Carl. That's a punishment. I thought you might like, if you want to write something in somebody's card, you might like to do it in Spanish, because Spanish is a Latin language, of course, and a very romantic language. So I got 3 little things that you might like to write in somebody's card. My first suggestion is eres mi media naranja. Eres mi media naranja.
My mid-orange.
Which translates as you are my half orange. Now, apparently, this is a term of endearment.
I like that one.
Yeah.
So next time I call her a banana, I'll just say I got it wrong.
Just a half
I meant to
banana.
say orange.
You are my half orange. Well, it's like you are my other half. You can't have a hot half an orange without having the other half, can you?
It's funny because when I called her a ripe banana the other day, she didn't seem to like it either. So fruit doesn't work always.
No. Okay, well, maybe try this one. Eres el aire que respiro. eres el aire que respiro. You are the air that I breathe. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
respiro.
Is that a bit? That's a bit too much.
That sounded like a song lyric.
Yeah.
A bit cheesy.
Bit cheesy, bit Andre Rieu, that wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Maybe too
Yeah.
cheesy for him.
Okay. The third suggestion I have is donde hubo fuego, cenizas quedan. Donde hubo fuego, cenizas quedan. So where there was fire, ashes remain.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe quite appropriate for our age.
That's more the rise of the phoenix.
Well, yes, as things can arise from the ashes come. Yeah. Anyway,
How do you
that's
say
it.
to you from me?
I'm not going to help you with it. That, you know, just beyond hope, Carl. We have your wife has our deep sympathy, Giselle. Okay, so let's get cracking. ¿Qué tenemos esta semana? Well, we have last week's homework to go through. I saw an interesting little article on one of the blogs that I follow called, it was 10 verbs we have to know, which I thought, oh, that's great, 10 verbs, I can learn them in no time. It turns out there's 19 because there's 2 Spanish verbs for 1 English verb, but we'll have a look at that, might be a bit of fun. We've got the next couple of chapters in our book, Climent and Barcelona, and our second book, 101 Conversations in Simple Spanish, and then homework for the coming week. Now, I sent the notes around on, I think I sent them on Sunday, and a couple of people asked for the homework by next Sunday, and a couple of people got it back to me within an hour. So I was like, oh dear, I should have been more specific, really. I didn't mean today, and then next Sunday, but well, I've got it anyway, so that's great. Well done. Anyway, empecemos. So the homework for last week was a video. We had a video, a YouTube video, and it's by a group of Spaniards based in Barcelona, I think, and I quite like their videos. They're in Spanish, but they always put subtitles up, which maybe we're going to have to stop watching them because I don't want you reading the subtitles. I want you to listen and understand the Spanish. It was about common mistakes, and I think a lot of these we knew already. Well, I'm sure we did. This one, the first one, I am however many years old, 67 years old in my case. Don't say ser 67 años or estoy 67 años. But none of us do that, of course. We know it must be tengo, I have, however many years old you are. In my case, I have 67 years. The second one, again, I think we use this in the lessons in basic Spanish. The difference between ser and estar. Soy aburrido, I am bored, actually means I am boring, because we use ser, don't we, as to describe an inherent characteristic of somebody. So soy aburrido means I'm boring. If we want to say I am bored, we use estar, of course. Estoy aburrido. I'm dead sure that none of you would get caught out by those two. Number 3, there's no need to use an indefinite article when describing an occupation. So you would say, in my case, soy jubilado, pero solía ser periodista. You don't need to say un periodista or una periodista. Don't need the indefinite article when we're talking about an occupation. Don't quite know why that is. It doesn't make a lot of sense to in an English sentence. We're doing a translation. You get used to not using it, and I think it's because your job is an inherent characteristic, so something you are, and you don't need to say I am an, I am a. You can just say I am, whatever. Number 4, never really thought about this, to be honest with you. Gente is singular. So, la gente está loca. People are crazy, not las gente están locas. Gente is singular. I think that's quite people, of course, in the UK. In English is singular as well, isn't it? But in folk is singular. Number 5, confusing muy and mucho. One means very and one means many, or much or a lot. Again, I think maybe when we're talking in Spanish and trying to think of the right word, it's easy to confuse muy and mucho.
Muy.
But less so when we're writing it. Right. Number 6 was confusing the gender on nouns ending in o or a. Mano, moto, radio are feminine nouns. Alma, agua, ala are well, they're not masculine nouns. They take masculine definite and indefinite article, but they are feminine, so it's confusing. We'd say un ala, a wing, and el ala, the wing, but unas alas and las alas. The only reason that agua and verbs and nouns like this are described as masculine is to avoid that la agua, which is just hard to say. So they say el agua. It's just to avoid the 2 letter A's occurring next to each other. And you get any associated adjectives need to be in the feminine form. So you have this weird construction, el agua fría, the cold water. It's quite confusing. But when you think about it, it sort of makes sense. And it's nice that Spanish, normally such a precise language with so many rules, when things get a bit hard to say, they're able to bend the rules. So I quite like that. Number 7, they went through a few false friends. Now we know a few of these. Embarazado is to be pregnant, not embarrassed. Libreria is a bookshop, not a library. Argumento is a story, not an argument. And suburbios, I'm just going to give this word. Suburbios are slums, not suburbs. So that would be, I definitely, if I saw that word, I would say, ooh, that's easy. Suburbs. We had a little discussion in the class this morning about Spanish words, what to do if you don't know a Spanish word, and I was asked what if you're asking for garlic, how do you ask for a we call it a bulb, we buy a bulb of garlic, wouldn't we? What's the bulb? And we thought, oh, if you don't know, as the worst comes to the worst, you just say an English word and stick a no on it. And, I said it half jokingly, but then I think Apple looked it up and it was bulbo. So that one worked, but they don't always work. So
Eric.
Be careful.
Eric,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
did that in Spain once. I wanted to know, I couldn't remember the word for end.
Mhm.
So I did a no on, well, I chose the French word and I did a no at the end and I said fino. And the man at the in the bar thought I was asking for a glass of dry sherry.
Well, there could be worse outcomes than that, to be honest with you, couldn't there? Yeah. Fino. I tried to order a sherry in Tenerife, and they haven't got a clue what I was on about. And I tried everything. Lens, sherry, fino. I tried a lot, and they haven't got a clue. He wanted to give me a cherry brandy. He kept saying, it's like, oh my God, you've never sherry. It's supposed to be Spanish. It turns out he was from, where was he from? He was from Morocco. So maybe that's a good excuse. Anyway, where are we? Adjectives should be placed after nouns. Well, yes, I was never so comfortable with this because it doesn't always work, does it? Un perro blanco. Yep, not un blanco perro. That's fine. But there are times when we need to put the adjective in front of the noun. So what we're going to do when we come back is have a little session on adjectives and where they should be placed and what the rules are around it. So we'll have a go at that. I'm sure we all know this one. Capital letters are not needed for days of the week, months of the year, nationalities, languages, or religions. I don't know about religions, but apparently that's the case. Names of people, cities, and countries do need caps. So we have en España, la gente habla español y se hacen llamar español. So in Spain, the people speak Spanish and they call themselves Spaniards, Spanish. Number 10 was don't mix positive words with negative verbs. So you have to say no tengo nada, I don't have anything, rather than I don't have any. Some, some. No tengo, I don't have some. I don't think we say that in English, would we? So we're likely to get into that one. The Spanish do love their negatives, negative upon negative. Yeah. No que no nada de nada, that kind of thing. So negative words, nadie, nobody, nada, nothing, nunca, never, tampoco, neither. Positive words, alguien, someone, algo, something, alguno, some, siempre, always, and también, also, as well. So I thought it was quite a good video, and you know, good to nicely produced and good to keep listening to Spanish. What we need to do is keep listening to Spanish, and the videos are a good way to do that. Okay, let's move on. So I saw a blog post last week which said there are 10 verbs that you need to know in any language. So I thought, this sounds great. I'll take a look at what they are, and I'll make sure I know them in Spanish, and that's it, I'm away. I can get up to a B2 rather than a B1. Well, of course, looking it up in Spanish, there were several of these, including the first one, to be where you need to know 2 verbs in Spanish to be able to know what the English verb is. And when you look through, instead of 10, you need to know 19. So it wasn't the super solution that I thought it might be to improving my Spanish overnight. But I thought it might be fun to share them with you as well. So we've got the usual suspects lined up in the gallery, and guess who's first? It's Ken, sitting near the door again. But what I'm going to do, Ken, I'm going to go to the end of the class, and we'll take a look at those. Now I've got somebody called Vile at the end of the class. Who's that? They're in full darkness, so I can't see who they are.
It's me, Linda.
Linda.
Yeah.
You have a different name every time.
I you didn't ask me to enter my name today. Often it didn't, but I didn't used to ask me to enter my name, so it's all very confusing.
Oh well, never mind. It's quite interesting. I think you were called Compaq or something like that, named after a computer this morning. So Vio that's probably also a computer. So Linda, you did a bit of work this morning, so I won't ask you. Let's go up the ladder, and Paul's the next one. Paul Quick. Hi, Paul. Hope you're well. You're just going to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Oh, that's it. Excellent. How well do you know these verbs, Paul?
Probably know most of them, I think.
Yeah, let's go with crack. To be. Can you think of
Ser or estar.
estar or say? Yeah, good. To have.
Tener.
Tener, yeah. To do or to make.
Hacer.
To go.
Ir.
To see.
Ver.
Yeah. To look.
Mirror.
Caught me there.
Mirar.
Mirar.
Mirar, yeah. To look for.
Buscar.
Buscar, see. To say.
Decir.
To tell.
Contar.
Well, so it could be decir as well. But
Contar, I think, is what.
Contar, yeah.
And to know.
It's conocer or ser. How is it?
Saber. Saber. Yeah. Well done. Well done. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Lorna, you're next up. Can you finish them off? I bet you can. We can see Lorna chatting away, but you're still on mute at the moment, Lorna. So unmute. There we go.
Sorry, I lost you.
That's it. We're there. We're there. We could.
Where did we get to?
We got as far as to come. To come.
Veneer.
Venir. See.
Veneer, yes.
Yeah. To call.
Llamar.
To want.
Querer.
To need.
Necesitar.
Necesitar. See. To ask.
Pedir or preguntar.
Yeah, it's two verbs to ask, aren't they? To think.
Pensar. Creer.
To take.
Tomar.
To like.
Querer or gustar.
Gustar. Yeah. To love.
Amar.
Amar. Yeah. So.
Querer.
Or querer. Yeah.
I said querer.
Yeah, querer can be.
To like.
As well, or to like.
Oh yeah.
Or to want. Yeah. It's quite a useful verb actually. So that was they're the. I think there's 19 now.
Eric, sorry, querer. Does that mean to want and to love? So you have to just take out of the context which one it is?
Yeah, you could say te quiero mucho, I love you a lot. Or you could say te amo mucho, I love you a lot. Either is fine to write in your Valentine's card, Carl. It's perfectly good. Yeah, either is fine. You have to be a bit careful with gustar because it does mean to like. But if you say that you like, if you use it to say you like somebody, it sort of means you fancy them. So you have to use cayenne. Falls. So if you want to say I like Sophia, if you say a Sophia me gusta a ella, you sort of saying I quite fancy Sophia. So you have to say, let me get this right. A Sophia me cae, is it cae? Me cae bien. So Sophia falls well to me, which is a very strange thing to say. But that's what you.
What about encantar?
Encantar to love. You can say that. Yeah. What instead of amar?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say te encanto. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but I think you really use that to say that you love something. I've never
Something. Yeah.
Yeah. I love cricket. Yeah. Me encanta el cricket.
Eric?
Yes, Tony.
In the context of Spanish, do you not also need haber?
Well, it would be useful, wouldn't it, to have haber as in there. I mean, certainly if you're going to start, conjugating different tenses, haber becomes useful, and also you need it for I and había. There are. I mean, I think this wasn't to be taken too seriously. This was, the 10 verbs that you need to know. Clearly, there's quite a few more that you need to know as well. Unfortunately, it would be great if we could get by on 10. And haber is important, not only for saying there are, or there was, were, but also for creating compound tenses.
I'm surprised it hasn't got include Yavar, because Yavar means everything, doesn't it?
Well, the one that I thought was missing is poder. I mean, I use poder so much for asking questions or asking people if they can do things for me, or for saying that I can do something. Puedo, puedes, podemos. I use that such a lot. So I couldn't manage without poder. So it gets you thinking. It's useful little exercise just to think about which verbs you really do need, and to concentrate on making sure that you know all the various conjugations in the, let's say, in the present, in the preterite, and maybe the imperfect, and making sure that you also know the past participle, maybe the gerund of some of them, and you know, that's a huge help then when you need to go through things. I got a new verb this week, mantenerse, to keep doing something, and gosh, I had a real job getting my head around that. So reflexive verb, and it was I just couldn't get it in my head properly. Mantenerse. So, you know, if you know a verb and you know it backwards, you don't have to stop and think about it. It is so useful. Anyway, I'm jabbering on.
Yeah, how do you spell the verb to like, Eric? The other one you gave, you've not got it on there. I don't know that one.
Gustar.
No, the other one.
Encantar.
If you like,
Encantar.
Encantar means, well, it's to love when you say you love something.
No, I thought you used a different word. If you said I like Sophie, or you said you used.
Oh, that is to fall caer. Yeah. Say a ere caer. Yeah. She falls to me well. Yeah. Which means, you know, you like her, but not in a sexual way. Right, I'm going to stretch across and grab my books, being careful not to pull the headphones off. There we go. Manage that delicate exercise. So we're now on the next few chapters of Crimen en Barcelona, and old Aldo has a few HR challenges to face this week. I'm not absolutely sure that he's going about it the right way, but there we are. Whenever I went to our HR department, they always said, they always wanted to pay people off, give them a few thousand quid and get them to sign the thing. So maybe that's what he should do with Aldo. Give him a few euros and get them to sign a piece of paper saying that he absolves him from all future litigation. Right, let's have a look. Whoops. So I think we should go back up to the front. We've got Mangala and Bryn at the top of the tree now. So we're on chapter 27, yeah. So Mangala, I think you read last. Did you read or translate last week?
Read.
You read. Well,
Yeah.
Mangala and Bryn. Why don't you read and Mangala can do the translation?
Okay.
If you read down to halfway down that page, it's a short page chapter, this, isn't it? If you read down halfway, and then Mangala can do the translation. Yeah.
Okay. Enrique, puedes venir a mi oficina. Estoy bastante ocupado ahora. ¿Puedo ir dentro de una hora? Vale. Ok. Te espero a las 3:30. Enrique toma un café mientras mira videos en YouTube. Llegar a la oficina de Aldo a las 4:10. Aquí me tienes, Aldo. Tú me dirás en qué puedo ayudarte.
Yeah. Thanks,
Hola.
Ben. We'll leave it there. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's good. Yeah. Don't forget it's me, not me. Me.
Sorry, yes, me.
You know that. Mangala.
Yeah.
Translation.
Yeah. Enrique, can you come to my office? I am quite busy at the minute. I can come after an hour.
Yep.
Okay. I will expect you. I'll wait for you for about 3:30 p.m.
Yep.
Enrique Enrique had a coffee. Meanwhile, watched videos on YouTube and came to Aldo's office at 10 to 4 in the afternoon.
Yep.
I am here, Aldo. Will you tell me how can I help you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Hola, hello.
No, we stop there, Mangala. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You can stop there. Yeah.
Gosh.
Super. Well done, you two. Carl and Maggie next on the list there. Will you, Maggie, why don't you read and Carl can translate? We'll give Carl the hard bit because he's been a bit cheeky today. So,
okay. Hola, Enrique. Toma asiento, por favor. Necesito hablarte sobre la compañía. Ya sabes que desde la semana pasada yo soy el nuevo CEO. Eso quiere decir que yo soy la persona que toma las decisiones. Pues sí, claro. No sé si está tan claro, Enrique. Últimamente estás tomando más responsabilidades que las que te corresponden. Además, no estás haciendo bien tu trabajo. Necesito que cambies eso. ¿Crees que puedes hacerlo? Sí, claro que sí. ¿Cómo no? Después de decir estas palabras, Enrique se levantó de la silla y se fue de la oficina sin saludar.
Okay. Carl, are you good to?
Okay. Hello, Enrique. Take a seat, please. I need to talk to you about the company. As you already know, since last week, I have become the new CEO. That doesn't need to say that means to say that I am the person who takes all the decisions. Well, yes, that's clear. No, it's not so clear, Enrique. Recently you've been taking responsibilities beyond your role. I need you to do your job well.
Yep.
No, you're not doing your job well. Since then, you're not doing your job very well. I need that to change. I think that. Do you think you can do that? Yes, clear. Well, I think so. After the conversation, after he said that, after he said those words, Enrique got out of his chair and went out of the office without speaking.
Yeah. So sí, claro que sí is yes, of course, yes. Why not? Come on.
What's the como no? I couldn't really get that.
Well, I mean, it's sort of how not, you know. Come on.
Yeah, nothing seemed to fit in there as a translation. So.
Yeah. Come on. It's I suppose a bit of an idiom, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I made a note of some of the phrases. There's quite a few on the, particularly in chapter 28, which I thought were quite good. Dentro means inside, but dentro de means within. That was in the within the first chapter. Dentro, inside, with dentro de, within. So when he says puedo ir dentro de una hora, it means yes, I can come within the hour. Eso quiere decir. I mean, literally, the translation is that wants to say, but we would translate it as that means. Enrique says, tú me dirás. Dirás is the future tense, of course. So you will tell me. It's sort of how can I help you is how we translate it. I think I would have used. I think if I was writing this, I would have wanted to use the imperative. You know, dime en qué puedo ayudarte. Tell me how I can help you. But I don't know. Maybe Enrique is using a little charm, going about it in a less direct manner. I don't know. I did like in chapter 28 the phrase "el malo de la película," literally the bad one in the film.
The man with the black hat.
I translate it as the bad guy.
The villain.
The villain, yes, absolutely. That's probably a better translation. Lograr was a new. I've come across a lot of new verbs this week. Lograr, new verb for me, means to achieve. So no logra is the opposite to achieve. He or she fails. Jurar, another new verb, to swear. I wondered if this was anything to do with the root of the word in Latin for jury. You know, a group of people are sworn in. Jurar. No le hará caso. He or she won't listen. Literal translation. He will not make the case. Won't listen. And later we had no le hagan caso. They should not listen to him. Yet another new verb, arrancar, meaning to start. Para evitar, to avoid, and mal hecho, badly made, shoddy. Some interesting colloquial phrases there, and a few new verbs. I'm not sure whether we'd use many of them, but I had to look a few things up in there, chapter 28.
Because why would you use arrancar instead of comenzar or empezar?
I don't really know. I thought that he was talking about arrancar el día, donde ordenes como si fuera así. I guess it's just an alternative. I couldn't see any way that you would use. I would use that other than another one.
Did it not come with a mi caro no arranca ahora or something like that?
It's got a lot of meanings, arrancar, isn't it? It says it means to tear out, like to tear your hair out by the roots.
Oh, right.
And to snatch, and to pull off, and to pull out, and to pull up. But I can't link that with to start. I can't. I'm trying to find the logic in that word, and I can't. The links of the meanings.
So
and I
does your dictionary have it as to start as well, or does it just have those?
My dictionary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking in the little the Collins Early Learning one.
Yeah. Well,
to pull something up by the roots, like it gives an example. The trees were uprooted by the wind, and
that's a start.
And all the meanings
end,
just seem to be completely arbitrary. I can't link them together at all.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know quite how that verb works.
But on the Kindle, I've just highlighted it. The whole sentence, and it actually translates it as starts the day by giving orders as if he was the CEO, and it uses it starts.
Yeah.
On Spanish Dick, they have to start, as in to start an engine, or it's to turn on, start up a computer, boot up, but also things like to provoke and to tear out or rip out. So it's a really weird verb.
Yeah.
I'm bound to get it to the wrong meaning, the wrong sentence.
I think I'd avoid that.
Yeah, it's probably best if we
ignore that one.
Probably best if we can. Not always possible. It's probably best if we can. Yeah. Good. Okay. So we've got our second book, Conversations in Simple Spanish. And we're on to chapter 16, La Investigación. Alicia hace más preguntas a Lorenzo Reyes mientras ven la colección de arte. Alicia asks many questions of Lorenzo Reyes while looking at his art collection. She's quite taken with Lorenzo's art collection. I think Nuria gets written out of this particular chapter. So I think we just need two actors for Alicia and Lorenzo Reyes, I think. So where are we up to? We've got whoops. we've got Susan Little,
Yeah.
who
Okay.
sounds a good candidate for Alicia.
Right. Vale.
Who can we have for Lorenzo Reyes? We've got Ken Woppett just down there. Ken sounds like the perfect Lorenzo to me. So let's you two crack on with this. Okay. Alicia.
Creo que alguien rompió la puerta.
No, la policía dice que nadie rompió la puerta.
Entonces, ¿alguien tomó la llave?
Puede ser, es difícil, pero puede ser.
¿Quiénes viven en la casa?
Mi hija, Marina, los empleados y yo.
¿Cuántas personas trabajan en la casa?
6 personas, un empleado de limpieza, un empleado de seguridad, un jardinero, 2 cocineros y la niñera de mi hija. ¿Crees que el ladrón es alguien de la casa?
No lo sé. Es posible. Es alguien que no conoce el valor de los dibujos. Estaban en venta muy baratos en el mercado de las ranas. A solo 100 euros. Pero deben valer cientos de miles.
Espero no tener problemas con uno de mis empleados.
Good. Thank you, you two. Thank you for that. Now, I'd just like to point out one word, alguien. Both of you had a slight ooh in there. Alguien.
Alguien.
When you get a G followed by an I or an E, it should be in Spanish. It should be a soft G, so it should be a H. But when they want it to be a hard G, they'll put a U in front of the I or the E. So the U isn't sounded unless it has the 2 dots over the top. So if it doesn't have the 2 dots, it isn't sounded, but it does harden the G. So instead of a H sound, as in girasol for sunflower, or gente for people, it's G. It's just a hard G sound. There's quite, you see it all the time. So alguien, guerra for war, guerrilla for little war. So it's just it's in English, of course, we'd get a worse sound, but in Spanish it's just a hard G. Unless it's got the 2 dots over it, in which case it becomes we have a hard G and a U sound. So let's think of an example. Penguin is the one that springs to mind. It's a pinguino, and there's also a cigüeño. Cigüeño, I think, is a stork. So there's some examples of when that's the case. So there we go. I think I've got a sneaking suspicion that we're going to find out who the thief is very soon. So let's hope so. Although we've got about 100 chapters in this, we're only up to chapter 16. I don't think so.
My Kindle says we're 25% through.
Are we? Yeah, actually, we do. We have. Let me get that to the top. Yeah, we've got 100 chapters, so we're not. It looks as if we're about 25.
Strange, mine says it's 47% through. So you might have more preamble.
But maybe you've read a bit more, Carl. Have you?
No, that's on chapter 28.
You're not been reading on.
No, I don't read on.
Oh. Okay, so that's that. We've come to the end. How am I doing on time? Oh, we've got 4 minutes. That's a miracle. I normally say we've gone over by 4 minutes, but we've got 4 minutes left. So let's just have a look at homework for next week. We've got 2 weeks to do this, so I wondered if you'd like 4 chapters rather than 2 chapters. But then I thought, I know you so well, you just want 2 chapters. So we'll do the next 2 chapters of Clima and Barcelona.
It wouldn't be a holiday if you make us read 4, would it?
It wouldn't, Suzanne. You're absolutely right. So we'll just do 2.
Thank you.
But I know what you'll do. You won't do anything the first week, and then the second will be done last minute. That's what I'll do. And I wondered if you'd write 10 sentences for me using as many of those essential verbs as possible. I think what we ought to do is make a list of those verbs, make ourselves a little table and write out the present imperative, the preterite and the imperfect and the gerund and the past participle, and create little sentences. Excuse me. Let's need some water. So I think that would be a great idea. But for homework, let's just see if we can utilise as many of those verbs as possible in 10 sentences. And if anybody can get all 19 into 10 sentences, then that would be great. I don't mind what tense you use or what mood you use. You can use the imperative if you want. And let me, if you want me to take a look at them, let me have them by next Sunday, the coming Sunday. And that's it. We'll see you in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time. So thank you very much for your efforts today. Well done, everybody. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Nos vemos en 2 semanas.
Thank you, Eric.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Ciao. Ciao a todos.
Gracias.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Adios.
Bye.
Thank you.